Haarms is the second tallest player in BYU history, as it turns out, but he's much more than just that. He's a rim protector, shot blocker, leader, and clearly an energy guy. And he's the final guest of the Pope Show this season and back after last week, so it's encore time. Hello again, Matt.
Good to be here.
Good to have you back. Congratulations on being the WCC's Defensive Player of the Year. A one-year stop in the league, and you take some hardware home with you. Congratulations.
It feels awesome. I'm just super happy. I didn't really expect the award. I think there's so many great players in this conference that I feel like we have such a team mentality about the way we play that I didn't really expect that many individual awards, but just to take one home is really special for me. And
Mark, again, the block numbers stand out, but it's more than just that particular part of it.
Well, you think about the voting, okay, that takes place, and it's especially for a Defensive Player of the Year. So every staff in the league votes, and so with an award like this, where you don't necessarily just look at one particular statistic, every coaching staff is dealing with their own personal experience, and so it just tells you what an impact Matt has in the eyes of the other teams. Is like, we don't know how to manage the problems he causes on the defensive end. So not only does he have a game like he did against St. Mary's where he has 5 blocks and just controls the paint, but also teams are talking about his rim protection. He's got incredible feet and ball screen defense. He's got this magical ability to kind of be at the point of the screen and retreat and guard two at the same time. He's a great communicator on defense. He's really had an unbelievable week, like we talked about, rebounding the ball. So he's just made a huge difference. I mean, like I said, we're in rarefied air for BYU defensively, and that is built on the lofty shoulders of the great Matt Haarms. How about that for an introduction?
that was
poetic.
Let's go.
Matt, if you could be objective about yourself for a moment and say, okay, that there was the Matt Haarms at Purdue. How did BYU Matt Haarms look any different from maybe your first 3 years? What happened to you this year, if anything did, to maybe even take you up a notch?
I don't think anything that's tangible, numerical had really happened. I think I just got a lot smarter. Like Coach Pope said, just me being able to be at the screen but back at the same time, guarding the roll but the man coming off the screen at the same time. Those are just the kind of things that I learned, in my short-term time here that have really helped me just, I feel like, stand out on the defensive end. I feel like the defense is really tailored to me. The way we guard ball screens is really tailored to what I do really well. So, I'm just placed in a great system and with some great coaching staff that's really helped me to control the space.
How nice is it to be part of a nationally elite defensive team right now?
It's awesome. I love being part of elite defensive teams. It's easily the end of the floor that I enjoy the most. If you see me score, I'm like, okay, I scored. Great, we scored. I know everyone can score, but when I block a shot or when we get a key defensive stop, when Rich Harvard takes a charge, that's when I'll be at my most excited, because I just think that's sometimes overlooked by the fans. Sometimes the fans, they often don't appreciate great defense. But I remember, those games probably 3 years ago, there was a game, Wisconsin-Virginia. And I watched that whole game, and everyone was like, oh, this is boring. It was like 50-50. I was like, this is awesome. St. Mary's game, 23-18 after the first half. I'm like, this is great. This is the best. Like, those are the games I just love being in.
If it's okay to ask about one offensive stat, it's at the free throw line. You're almost 20% over your Purdue free throw percentage in your senior season at BYU. What does it take for that kind of improvement?
Just confidence. It's really, really weird, but you think free throws it's reps, but at some point it just becomes mental. I think you see that with they always talk about certain NBA players like an Andre Drummond, the guy that shot like 30% one year. The form is there, everything was there. That was how it was for me. Everything was there, but the confidence just wasn't there. And just coming here, I just had that. I kind of regained my confidence and got my swagger back a little bit. I know that I'm able to shoot that. I know I'm good at it. They go in practice. They go in when I shoot by myself. So it was just kind of that confidence. And a big part of me coming here was regaining my confidence.
Yeah. Senior night. We talked a lot about it on senior night. Now that you look back on that evening and the way it turned out, anything better than that? I mean, wow.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's all I could say, honestly, about it. Wow. It was just such a special evening. I'm still mad at you, Coach Pope, for putting the microphone in my hands. I would have prepared something for Cougar Nation if I was aware that I was going to speak. But, what I did say after that game was completely from the heart. I'm so appreciative of the opportunity that I got here. And, it was emotional. Before the game, I definitely got, very emotional. I saw my parents on the screen. waving at me. And, even though they weren't there, I knew they were watching the game and there for me. So it was really special for me.
We have to kind of hustle, but I want you to lead us into WCC Tournament Week and maybe the postseason for BYU. Speak for the team in terms of what you guys hope to get done.
Well, this week we're just going to get better. We don't know who we're playing yet, so we're just going to get better. We're going to get better. We got better today. We're going to get better tomorrow. We're going to take this whole week to get better against whoever we play, and then we're going to be ready for whoever we play on Monday.
Quick final word from the coach on what Matt Haarms has meant in 1 year at BYU.
Well, I'll be super brief, but you think about we walked in halftime 23-18, and what Matt Haarms, we talk a lot about Alex Barcelo and Brandon Averett's leadership, but Matt Haarms is like the foundational calming piece of this team. And you walk in the locker room, and because of Matt Haarms, the team is in the locker room before I get in there, and they're talking about like, hey, we're getting stops. We can get stops all night long. It is such a confidence builder on the team. And so those guys walk out of halftime being like, hey, we didn't play great offense, but we can hold them to 18. We can do it again in the second half. We know we're going to win the game. It's like a given, and that's what Matt's brought to this team. I wish we should have had him on the show because how good is he? It's incredible.
If you ever can't, if you ever can't make
Yes.
it, yeah. Matt, thanks again for coming in, and thanks for being a Cougar. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Matt.